Speaking of the tropics, two areas that we're keeping a close eye on. This first area here pushing into the Caribbean, that has very little activity. In fact, no thunder showers, just a couple of showers moving in there. However, the National Hurricane Center is watching it just because of its proximity and its potential to maybe pick up the pace a little bit, but just a 20% chance over the next 5 days. Now, this other wave that's making its trek through the central Atlantic does have a 30% chance for development over the next 5 days, but they will both have to encounter some difficult conditions as they continue their trek westward. First, let's talk about that wave that is pushing closer in the direction of the Gulf, and I will mention that this has a lot of dry air to try and push through. In fact, there's really hardly anything to even report here. The wave is extremely minimal, hardly visible at that. The other wave that we're watching here is a little bit more broad. It does have some thunder shower activity, but it is very loosely wrapped around this area of low pressure. Now, the National Hurricane Center is watching for the potential for this to want to join in to this wave that is moving out ahead of it. And so we'll just have to monitor that. But any forward progression with this will happen towards the end of next week, towards the end of that 7-day forecast. And some other good news as far as trying to stunt the development of these two areas that we're watching, we are detecting quite a bit of wind shear. So from that first wave, there's lots of wind shear that it's going to have to try to get through. And remember, wind shear is what disrupts the upward motion of the moisture and the fuel source for these storms. So if we have wind, it tilts the storm. Rather than being vertical, it starts to tilt it more in a horizontal fashion, and then it really disrupts this machine that would try to get a little bit more strength. Looking further out into the central Atlantic, we have additional shear there. So hopefully both of these things working in unison to that dry air will start to slow things down. Although it's not atypical to see two things in the tropics for this time of year, we are nearing the peak of hurricane season, which is September 10th.